And they were a machine.
We had a bunch of college kids, ages 19, 20, 21, taking on this professional team.
Did you guys feel like you were actually soldiers more than you were hockey players? And was this kind of a representation of the Cold War?
To say this was freedom versus communism.
Man, they're playing grown-ass men.
Can this really be?
Well, here's where the game becomes a little bit painful.
The 1980s have been born.
Get that 19-year-old testosterone, son.
There you go, boys.
They want the enthusiasm, but they also want the control. And they've got to find the balance.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. I'm Billy Collins.
Matt Doje.
And this is Magician.
And the Jock.
How's this beard's getting longer?
It's looking good, man.
Thank you. Thank you.
People start handing you money yet?
Not yet.
Saying they'll pray for you?
Tip out my hat. We are on the
Olympic
train right now.
Another Joseph Vincent edit. Kind of opposite. The Dream Team was the first year they had professionals playing and just dominated. Miracle on Ice, they were all college kids up against, at the time, one of the biggest superpowers in the world.
Which
USSR. Do you believe in miracles?
No,
Yes!
Was that Al Michaels?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's Al Michaels.
The face value of a top ticket for tonight's game, $67.20. Outside, they're exchanging hands at 3 times the face value.
The late 60s and early 70s, we were a fractured country in terms of Vietnam. And patriotism was not really in vogue.
The American embassy in Tehran is in the hands of Muslim students tonight.
The defining moment of the late 70s for Americans was the hostage crisis.
Our hostages were being held in Iran. The country wasn't very happy with Jimmy Carter. We really didn't feel that good about each other as a country. And so you have all this confluence of events taking place.
And it puts in perspective what it meant for the country, what the country was going through at the time. The Cold War and the height of it.
It's really something that has become much more than a hockey game, and it became.
I mean, he does this pretty good, like showing that context
to relate to the times of how America. And I remember that because I was in 1980. I was 8 years old, and I even at 8 years old, I could tell. That's when Reagan came in and kind of changed everything. Got the hostages back. We watched it on TV. You saw an uptick in America Pride and us coming back.
The raging cocaine 80s, baby.
I was in a car when Jimmy Carter was president with my parents and in a line waiting to get gas. I mean, it's just a really bad time. So
I was born in '87, so I hardly remember this.
Yeah.
I was swimming.
Political and social and economic statement.
Somebody wrote that the ice will melt and turn to gold before the U.S. wins a game like this.
And a bunch of college kids, basically, in effect.
I'm wearing the same shirt as that guy.
An amateur team, but we all knew what they were. They were all listed as soldiers in the Soviet team, but they were hockey players. They were the best hockey players in the world.
The Soviets, looming in the medal round, with an undefeated record and overflowing confidence.
Beasts.
We're going to those Olympics thinking that it was going to be capable.
Well, right now, I think the Russians are the greatest hockey team in the world.
Did you guys feel like you were actually soldiers more than you were hockey players? And was this kind of a representation of the Cold War?
Against the Soviets. Bud Snyder losing it. A slap shot, and it was deflected in from the.
I forgot about the butt cheek goals back.
Yeah.
So what do you remember about that? I mean, times were, it wasn't like we're the most dominant force on the planet.
We were on the downslide, airplane jackings, and just. I mean, it was like right and left that they were just
interest rates had peaked under
I mean, inflation
Carter.
was all-time high.
Yeah.
I mean, it was just a nightmare. And this, looking back, because I remember, my parents, who aren't sports people, said, we just won we just beat the Russians. And it was kind of like, that maybe was the spark that brought America.
Spoiler alert.
It's only 40-some years later.
Yeah, my dad said he was in the airport when he heard it, and he was like, oh my God.
It's kind of like bringing America back.
Right. Make America great again?
Oh, what?
Trumper.
The point. The Soviet Union takes a 1-0 lead.
Team USA was assembled by Coach Herb Brooks
Herb
from
Brooks,
the University League.
Herb's goal was to get them to focus their hatred on him and be unified and become one.
If you hate one person more, it brings you together.
He would tell me he was trying to put together an American style of hockey that would reflect who America is.
In the tournament thus far, outside of Verbuchen, number 5, a defenseman. Havlik taking it away to the U.S. Havlik up ahead to Snyder.
Top shelf. I grew up playing hockey. So
Yeah,
that was my
I was going to say.
What a shot! That is a goal you don't expect somebody like Freddie Ack to give up. And the United States ties the game at 40.
He's not a machine. He's a man.
Golikov, number 23, leaving it to Makarov. He tried to get it back to Golikov. He gets it back and scores.
That was.
The American defenseman and the Soviets take the lead 2-1.
We were way stronger.
Sergey.
Nobody ever doubted that. We were professionals, and they were just students.
These guys obviously had played together for years and years, and they were a machine.
We had a bunch of college kids, ages 19, 20, 21, taking on this professional team.
You know, if it's only like 3-1, that's about all we can ask for.
I'm sick and tired of hearing about what a great hockey team the Soviets.
Long shot, the easy save by Freddie Ack. Johnson is there. With 1 second to play in the period. Right now the clock shows nothing, but it was stopped at 1 when we looked up as the goal was scored, and the United States have equalized. Clinching did not look too good. Big goal for the U.S. team. Tim Morrow took the shot.
That Russian coach was he took Clinching out and they never put him back in.
Yeah, the Soviet Union goal. And I think universally considered to be one of the best ever to play the game.
There's the horn. That is the
Yeah, I remember that.
First period after it looked for a fleeting moment as if Kaiser might not allow the goal. He does.
This was so much more than a game, wasn't it? I mean, this was really, I don't think it's an understatement to say this was freedom versus communism.
You knew that game was huge as it was unfolding.
You know, the U.S. had no chance to beat the Soviets.
Man, they're playing grown-ass men.
The Soviets dominated the play because they outshot the U.S. 39-16.
Up ahead to Malchev. Malchev on a breakaway.
Oh, that was sick.
The U.S. trailed 3 separate times.
It was like thunder.
First of all, that goalie's mask. God, that doesn't seem like it's doing much.
Yeah.
Like that Adam's apple's like.
Well, remember back, like in the very early, they didn't have masks on. They didn't have helmets.
Yeah, it's a little different now.
Yeah.
Separate times. It was like thunder.
The Jason mask.
The energy, I think, could have sustained for 9 periods of hockey.
Soviets take the lead in the second period, and they outshoot the U.S. in the second period, something like 15-3.
So much contested only once thus far. The Americans with perhaps their final rush on this power play opportunity. 13 seconds left in the penalty.
5-0. Oh, man.
You know, country was looking for something to rally against.
I'm so glad I watched this after the fact, because my butt would have, you couldn't have put a safety pin in it.
You could pinch it more.
Like my hands are sweating right now, just.
And we know the outcome.
I've been on the air for earthquakes. That may have been rockier than San Francisco.
You know, all of a sudden it's 3-3 and the place is going crazy.
What are we seeing here? Can this really be?
Well, here's where the game becomes a little bit painful.
The 1980s have been born.
Look at that 19-year-old testosterone, son.
There you go, boys.
They want the enthusiasm, but they also want the control. And they've got to find the balance.
Look at that wrist shot. Damn.
Damn.
Mike Maruzian.
This young team, this fuzzy cheek.
That momentum swing, just power right there.
Bruh.
And it's just brought everybody together in a way. It kind of galvanized the country and it made you want to hug your television set.
Yeah.
Now we've got Bedlam. Oh, I love Brooks' reaction. That goal coming at the 10-minute mark. Exactly halfway through the period.
The team that had won Olympic gold every time since 1964.
Seemingly no one, certainly not a bunch of college kids, could stop them.
Love that.
5:46 remaining in the game. The United
You remember being young, you got that, you don't know what you don't know.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, F all that, man. Like,
I just throw in your body,
just need a little bit of hope. I remember we were playing Boise State in a bowl game, and this was the year after they had beat Oklahoma. Remember the guy, they won,
Yeah.
they did
That was a big...
the guy proposed to the
Right.
cheerleader. So I played at East Carolina. We were playing them, and then the Sports Center poll was like 99% of fans said ECU was going to lose. And we played in the Hawaii Bowl.
Right.
So we just went and got hammered every night. We're going to get destroyed. Who gives a shit? We're in Hawaii. And after that opening kickoff, I'm like, I think we might win. Like, we're bigger than them. We're strong. Like, ooh, you just need that little bit of, I got a chance.
Yeah, that's all you need.
And we had Chris Johnson, CJ2K. But
one of the best running backs ever to come out of.
Oh,
the best, yeah.
For sure. But it reminds me that you feel that momentum's a cruel mistress. You know, it can work against you, but when it's on your side, you're like,
oh, it's gold.
You're like, bro, we're going to win.
Yeah.
Imagine if we weren't all completely dehydrated and hungover.
I mean,
3 touchdowns.
Maybe it's because you guys were that. You're like, okay, you threw ambition
play loose.
to win. You're like, hey.
You play loose. You're like, hey, y'all going to beat us anyways. They were the ones that were tight.
Yeah.
We weren't.
5:46 remaining in the game. The United States on top.
Tonight, we skate.
4:55 remaining in the third period.
Tonight, we stay with them.
2:25, 2:24.
We shut them down because we can.
That
That's-
final
that's
hour,
Kurt Russell's
those
voice, isn't it?
seconds, just it was this kind of sporting event.
Jackson over to Ramsey.
Dude, I'm getting nervous.
The Clanahan is there. The puck is still loose. 11 seconds. You've got 10 seconds. The countdown going on right now.
It's like the longest 5 seconds in the world.
Dude, can you imagine? Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Like, hello, Gulag.
You guys are thinking as you're waiting on the blue line, and Clinching
Those guys
said
have never been seen again.
they looked like the happiest people in the world. We wished we were them.
Bobby Eddie tells us he was in a restaurant called Jimmy's.
Hold on, I gotta hear that again.
Clinching, what was it that you guys are thinking as you're waiting on the blue line? And Tretiak said they looked like the happiest people in the world. We wished we were them.
Oh my God.
Bobby Eddie tells us he was in a restaurant called Jimmy's across from our hotel when the result was announced there, and he said all the people in the place spontaneously stood up and sang our national anthem.
I went outside and I saw fireworks and I saw people dancing in the streets in Lake Placid.
To present the victors in the ice hockey competition.
I remember how uplifted the country felt. It was like putting a man on the moon. It was like, we can do anything. If we can beat the Russians in hockey, we can beat poverty.
Be able to bring a country together, not so much just...
Yeah, so a lot of people, they had to beat Sweden
Yeah.
for the championship game,
Yeah.
which shows that they weren't just a flash in the pan, but
They
to
were
beat,
really good to be.
whoever beat Russia was going to win it all.
Yeah.
You know, man, but I thought that was pretty telling when he was like, we saw them over there, we're sitting on the blue line waiting, and they look like the happiest people in the world.
Right.
We wish we were them. It just shows, let freedom ring, baby.
Yup.
The sporting nation, but the entire country.
This was such a unique event. Something that had never happened before. I can't imagine a scenario where it's going to happen again.
The game forever dubbed the Miracle on Ice. A win for the ages, spanning beyond sports.
It's difficult to overstate the importance of the Miracle on Ice. It's been credited with everything from Hollywood's obsession with sports movies to a rebirth of national pride in America in the 1980s.
I mean, it just made the country feel so much better about itself.
I think David Goggins was conceived when they said, "Do you believe in miracles?" Yes. Goggins, like his little.
He said, I'm here.
Let's go carry the boats.
Let's
like,
go.
Little tadpole came
I'm
out.
going to be a fat exterminator, then I'm going to go join the Navy. Let me just throw this out there real quick, because in this day and age, I just feel like we're so divided. And now but watching that video, kind of going back, and I wish all you guys could go watch the game and watch how everybody came together at that time. Like I said in the beginning of the video, we were at a very crucial time. We were on the brink of a war.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we were not in a good state. We were the weakest we've been. The economy was down, and by that game, I mean, it just kind of, I don't know if it was just that game, or the change in the scenery of the government at the time, but we just kind of came together, and I feel like, man, why are we just going through so much bullshit right now? Why do we need a game like that? Why do we need a 9/11 to bring us closer together? Why can't we just be, I don't know. I got off on a tangent, but that's what I see when I see that banner or the flag, raised up high. Is like, I'm still proud to be a fucking American. Right. I mean, at the end of the day.
Kidding me?
Dude, I don't care.
Kidding me?
I don't care who is up there. We will make it through anything we want to.
Drop the borders, see which way people flow.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So, anyway, didn't mean to get off on a tangent there.
No, I love it.
That just got me. Yeah.
I went straight into sun mode. I'm like,
that hits a nerve of prosperity, of saying we can do whatever we want to if we set our minds to it. And at the end of the day, we all should love each other. I think we really do.
Vast majority, yes.
Yeah, I mean, I think the media hype, the bullshit that you see right now is exactly what it is.
Look, if you don't watch the news, you're uninformed. If you watch the news, you're misinformed.
Yep, that's 100%.
Pick your poison.
Love that. So, guys, do us a favor. Leave us a comment down below. Have you seen Miracle on Ice? Have you watched the movie before? It is a Disney movie with Kurt Russell.
It's awesome.
Very good movie. It'll move you as Americans. Leave us a comment down below. Like I said, also subscribe to the channel.
Smash the like button.
And we will see you on the next video.
Peace. I'm going to do a slow zoom in on you with God Bless America. I'm going to have a flag waving.
I just love this country so much. But I live here too. If I go live in somewhere else, I don't love that.
Team Kamala. Jim Beam root beer.
Jim Beam or root beer.
That's when you're down bad.
That's when you have no chaser.
Oh, look, dude. I blew my nose with the towel that we wiped the board off with.
Put that on.
Is it shit everywhere?
You're not meaning to do blackface.
I could probably be Prime Minister of Canada.
That's true. What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. I'm Billy Collins.
Okay, sorry. Oops.